us off, please.
I guess, Brad, just how do you feel about the team coming in and really about the team's depth this year with where like Segundo wins the SEC and then doesn't score at the next meet, you all keep going on without him?
Yeah, we've got some depth this year. Finally, we've had some holes in our lineup the last couple of years. Obviously, in 2019, I didn't feel like we had enough depth to get us through. And Julian didn't play well at the SECs, and we had a good, obviously a good event. Got to the finals. Next week, Segundo didn't play well. We finished runner-up. So, the two senior leaderships have been incredible, and William and Tyson have played really well down the stretch for us. William back being healthy, he's had 2 good weeks in a row, and Tyson's had an incredible spring. But having some depth definitely helps. I don't feel like we have a hole in our lineup, and I feel like that'll bode well for next week.
Thank you.
Tom?
Yeah. Hey, Brad, we were looking at those scores on Friday from the women in Scottsdale. Have you gotten any more intelligence? What can you tell us of the course?
Well, when they decided to have a Greyhawk, we were all concerned that the scores were going to be too low. They have a big junior tournament invitational out there every year, and the junior golfers shoot, 15, 16 under par. So the concern was it was going to be a birdie fest, putting contest, and but I've talked to some people. They've grown the rough up, they've pinched the fairways in, and if they can keep the greens firm and fast, as you know in golf, you have rough and firm and fast greens. That'll definitely, keep the scores. I don't think it's a very long golf course, and these guys, that bomb it, but I definitely think there's something going on because the women usually shoot lower than the men, and I think there's only one team under par. South Carolina has a really good women's team. They shot 24 over the first round, which is a really high score for them. So I think it's going to be a different venue than as coaches we thought coming into Greyhawk was going to be, where it was going to be a birdie fest. So obviously there's something going on out there, and I think they've got a lot of rough, and they'll keep the greens firm and fast. That'll keep the scores. It'll keep them up a little bit higher.
How's this season been for you? It's been a special season in so many different ways with the bonus seniors and all that kind of stuff. How can you encapsulate what this year has been like?
Well, obviously, lucky to have it. I think that I talked to Greg Sankey out at the SEC this year, and he said a lot of thanks go to Mr. Tyson, who had the Blessings Invitational, and that kind of got things kicked off for golf. He said that was really a major factor in getting golf started. So big thanks to Mr. Tyson to help the season get going. And, I've been around these guys for 5 years, these seniors, and it's been special, obviously, getting through this week with William and Tyson playing so well. But, we had a really good fall, struggled a little bit at the first of the spring, which we kind of usually do because we come out of winter and we're not real sharp, and then obviously finish strong at the SECs and regionals. So I'm just happy for the team and happy for these guys, these seniors, to get to finish their career off at the national championship.
Appreciate.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you the same question I asked earlier about what do you think your guys need to work on for Greyhawk? What type of shots do you expect them to be hitting, and where do you see them needing to tweak their game, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, Julian played in that big junior tournament out there years ago, so he's kind of helped us a little bit. There's going to be a lot of short irons into the greens. It's not very long. So we focused our practice this last week on 100 yards in. I actually had them play a scramble yesterday, so they got at the feel of making a bunch of birdies. And obviously driving is going to be important, but I think that if it's true to what I've been told, it's going to be a lot of low scores. So we're definitely going to have to be aggressive with our short clubs, and our proximity to the hole is going to have to be really good.
And then I guess if I can, on another note, the golfing world's talking about Phil Mickelson. Your thoughts on him winning the PGA at 50 years old?
Well, he ruined my career. I was leading the Las Vegas Invitational my senior year, and he shot 63 the last round. My dad walked off the 18th hole and said, "Son, you need to get a job because you can never beat that guy." So I've been a Phil fan since then. I mean, just for his body to hold up at that age. I mean, I'm 53, and to actually think that you could actually not only win a major, but win a golf tournament. What he did was one of the most incredible things of my golf career watching in 30 years. I'm really happy for him. I think it's great for golf. And it was super exciting. I'll remember where I was yesterday in 20 years.
Jason Carroll?
Coach, what do you need to do to get to match play? Like when you try to plan it out, and then what makes you guys so good once you get to the match play format?
Well, obviously it's going to be tough. This year is the strongest year that I've been involved with in college golf because you've got so many 6-year guys. I mean, OU's got 2 or 3 25-year-olds on their team. We've got some 24-year-old guys. It's just college golf this year is extremely strong. This is the best team I've ever had as a coach. And, we're ranked 22nd. On a normal year, I think we'd be a top 10 team. But, it's like William said, golf's week to week. We're going to have to hit on all cylinders. We're going to need everybody to play their best. And really need Julian to have a good week. He's kind of struggled the last 2 weeks, but Julian's capable of winning the golf tournament. When he's on, he's one of the best players in the country. And Tyson and Bull's game's in really good shape. Obviously, Segundo, I think he'll bounce back after last week. And the biggest key to our golf team has been Manuel Lozado. He's been so consistent in staying in the rounds and shooting us a bunch of scores around par over the last month and a half. And it should be a good golf course for him because he drives it so straight. But really impressed with him as a freshman coming through for us in the last month and a half. But we're going to have to play extremely well. We can't make any mistakes to make the 8. But once we get there, we've got a bunch of guys, our South Americans. That's all they do is play match play. That's how their tournaments are. And so you can see it at the SEC. They've done a really good job there. I think Segundo went 3-0. Manuel went 2-1 against the best players on each team. And Julian, I think, went 2-1 also. So they're used to match play. That's what they thrive on. They love it. So I thought that's one of the reasons why we've done well once we've gotten to match play the last couple of years.
Any follow-ups for Coach?
Yeah.
You-
Hey, Brad.
Tom?
Yeah, how gratifying was it for you that Tyson and William were in competition, close to the top all weekend at the regional? And we've heard about William, needing to have back surgery and needing to stay in school. But for Tyson, was it a difficult convince? What was the dynamics behind him returning?
Yeah, Tyson obviously has the goals to play professional golf, and he was the first guy that called me when they found out that we could get an extra year, and obviously the scholarships weren't going to be the same. And he said, "I don't care what it costs, I'll be back." And he's obviously had an incredible year. I've seen his game grow. He's extremely talented. We're at tournaments. I mean, people watch him on the range. I mean, he looks like he's one of the best players in the country. And, this spring he won Auburn. He had a 3rd at Mississippi State, and he had a 2nd at regionals in the best fields of the country. So he's trending upward into a player that I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him on the Korn Ferry Tour in a couple of years. So, and then obviously William's finally healthy. I probably put a little too much pressure on William coming back. In the spring, obviously his game wasn't in great shape, but since SECs, I've seen that he's healthy again. His ball striking's back. He's gotten longer. He lost a lot of length, and he had a really good SEC, and obviously he was one shot off the lead at regionals going last day. He shot even par the last day. I mean, they're both exceptional players, and I couldn't be more happy for them to finish off their career this week. They put a lot of time in it, and they're great kids.
Assuming Mason gets to travel as the alternate, what's his attitude been like, just having a guy like that around a veteran?
He's been incredible. He's taken it extremely well. He wants the best for the team. Knock on wood, hopefully we don't have any COVID problems. But he's been a great teammate for 5 years, and he's got his Canadian Tour card, so he's out practicing, getting ready to start that career here in 2 weeks. But the guys love having him around, and we're all in this together. Obviously I feel bad, for Mason. He's been, one of the better players on our team forever, but we got to do what's best for the program, and Mason's there for us every day because he wants these guys to be successful and have a chance. next week.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, appreciate